On Friday, we will discuss a painting by the 16th century Flemish painter Peter Bruegel the Elder and a poem by the 20th century Anglo-American poet, essayist, and playwright Wystan Hugh Auden. Bruegel was born in about 1525 in what is today Belgium. He is best known for his genre paintings, or scenes of everyday life, but he also painted religious scenes and worked as a printmaker. The Peasant Dance, The Wedding Feast, and Hunters in the Snow are typical examples of his work. It will be immediately noted that the style of Bruegel's paintings matches their rustic subjects, and that the idealized classical figures of the Italian Renaissance are nowhere to be found in Bruegel. While his careful attention to all spheres of human activity places him well within the tradition of Renaissance humanism, in style and sensibility, Bruegel is much closer to the social realism of the 14th century and to the darker, unidealized art of the Northern Renaissance. His Triumph of Death and Land of Cockaigne are examples. Social commentary and satire are also features of his work. The featured Bruegel painting for class on Friday is his landscape with the fall of Icarus. To understand this painting, it is necessary to know its Ovidian subtext. In Book 8 of his epic Metamorphoses, the Roman poet Ovid tells the tale of Daedalus and Icarus. This story was well known in both antiquity and the Renaissance, but it was Ovid's version in particular that influenced Peter Bruegel. Meanwhile, detesting Crete and his long exile, and longing to return to his own nation, Daedalus found that an escape by sea was closed to him. Though he may bar the earth and seas, he said, without a doubt the sky above is open. That is how we will go. Minos rules everything except the air. He spoke and turned his mind to arts unknown, and changed the face of nature, for he placed a row of feathers in ascending order, smallest to largest, so you would have thought that they had all grown that way on a slope. Thus antic panpipes with unequal reeds will rise above each other. These were bound together in the middle with flaxen thread, and then joined at the quills with molded wax. And finally he bent them just a bit so they resembled a bird's wings. Icarus, his boy, was standing close by, unaware of any danger. Listen to me. Keep the middle course, dear Icarus, for if you fly too low, the waves will weight your wings down with their moisture, and if you fly too high, flames will consume them. Stay in the middle course, and don't set your course by gazing at the stars. Ignore Boötes, the Dipper, and Orion's unsheathed sword. Keep to my path and follow where I lead you. And while he was instructing him in flight, he fitted the untried wings to the boy's shoulders. And as he works and as he warns the boy, the old man's cheeks are dampened by his tears. The father's hands are trembling as he gives his son a not-to-be-repeated kiss, and lifts off on his wings into the air. He flies ahead, afraid for his companion, just like a bird who leads her young in flight from their high nest, and as he flies along, exhorts the boy to follow in his path, instructing him in their transgressive art, as he employs his wings in flight and watches his fledgling Icarus attempt his own. Some fisherman whose line jerks with his catch, some idle shepherd leaning on his crook, some plowman at his plow looks up and sees something astonishing, and thinks them gods who have the power to pass through the air. Now on their left they had already passed the isle of Samos, Juno's favorite, and Delos and Paros too, when the boy audaciously began to play, and driven by desire for the sky, deserts his leader and seeks altitude. The sun's consuming rays, much nearer now, soften the fragrant wax that bound his wings until it melts. He agitates his arms, but without wings they cannot grip the air, and with his father's name on them, his lips are taken under by the deep blue sea that bears his name, even to the present. Ovid's Metamorphoses is an important text for the understanding of Peter Brueghel's painting Landscape with the Fall of Icarus, not only because it is the literary source for many of the details in the painting, but because the Ovidian tale itself was received in the Renaissance as part of a tradition called the Ovid moralise, moralized Ovid. The idea was that the works of this Roman poet could be the sources of good moral wisdom, good Christian moral wisdom at that. This may seem surprising to many modern readers of Ovid who associate his work with tales of love and a certain irreverence. However, many of the stories were viewed as teaching good moral lessons, and in the 14th century, a work called the Ovid Moralise was produced that did just that. It gave allegorizing interpretations of many of the stories in the Metamorphoses, including the tale of Daedalus and Icarus. One of our jobs on Friday will be to discuss how this tradition plays into Brueghel's interpretation of the myth, and beyond that, what, if anything, W.H. Auden has to say about it in his poem Musée des Beaux-Arts, the title taken from the Museum of Fine Arts in Belgium, where the Brueghel painting hangs.